If you're in the market for a brand new, 100 horsepower, street-legal dirt bike, Ducati's Hypermotard 939 and Hypermotard 939 SP are pretty much the only game in town, at least, until the updated Aprilia Dorsoduro 900 arrives. Upgraded for 2016 with the 937 cubic centimeters Testosterone 11 degrees L twin, compared to last year's 821 cubic centimeters model, the Hypermotard gains a wee bit more, completely unnecessary, intensity. Like, as if, the outgoing model wasn't fun enough. It was a couple years ago when we last rode the SP version of Ducati's Hypermotard, and it was with the company of MV Agusta's rival, Megamotard Shootout, 2014 Ducati Hypermotard SPVS. MV Agusta rival. In that shootout the rival narrowly defeated the Hypermotard by virtue of its TRE piston I engine. A skilled rider can keep up with his buddy in the tight stuff if you're on the Hyper and he on the rival, but once the MV has a chance to stretch its legs, it's gone, said Troy Siahan in that shootout. So, maybe it's a good thing Ducati blessed the Hypermotard with a newer, greater capacity engine. Without an MV Agusta measuring stick for this review, we're left grading the Hypermotard 939 SP on its own merits, which are exceptional for the rider willing to commit to a motorcycle that only does one thing well, have fun. Commitment is also very appropriate wording for the Hyper SP. The new engine upgrade costing an additional $600 more than the 2015 SP model, $15,959 vs $14,995. That's not a terribly huge MSRP bump, but it moves the Hyper SP closer to $16,000, and that seems like a lot of moolah for a glorified dirt bike. Yes, there is a performance increase, but there's also a weight gain, see dyno chart below. What that $600 also buys you is a Hyper SP outfitted with an Öhlins fork in place of the Marzocchi unit on the 2014 model. Seat height has been reduced from 35 inches to 34.2 inches, which may be worth a couple $100 alone for vertically challenged folks who shied away from the 2014 Hypermotard due to height concerns. Otherwise, the two models are nearly identical. The new Hyper SP enjoys a 0.3-inch shorter wheelbase, which theoretically should quicken its canyon road pace, but, considering the advantages of a more powerful engine, coupled with the disadvantages of increased curb weight, it's impossible to tell what real-world benefits, or handicaps, the 939 SP owns without a back-to-back comparison. What we do know is the Ducati Hypermotard remains the bike of choice for riders looking for nothing but a good time. For the common street bike rider, the long travel suspension, 7.3 inches front, 6.9 inches rear, of the Hypermotard is going to feel foreign at first. After only a few miles, it becomes apparent that wheelie landings, which happen often, are softened, and an aspect I really enjoy, an extra amount of suspension travel is still available when entering a corner hard on the brakes. Happen across an unforeseen pothole and there's always enough fork travel to absorb a road encumbrance, whereas street-specific sport bikes and their ilk will have used up most all of their travel with nothing more to give but a harsh bottoming out when stumbling across such a hazard. Also unfamiliar to the average street rider will be the Hyper's seating position, which is very upright and dirt-able, with a very narrow seat and seat/tank juncture, yet still comfortable. Together with the wide handlebars, the Hypermotard is fun to flick around in town or in the country, possibly even up a dirt road or down a flight of stairs. When compared to the rival, the old Hypermotard exhibited more lethargy when it came to quick transitioning, but by itself the Hypermotard gets from one corner to the next in what seems like hyper fashion. Like most of Ducati's higher-end wares, the Hypermotard is outfitted with an array of adjustable electronics. There are 3 ride modes: wet, sport, race. Each of these come preset for ABS, TC, and engine output, but you can also adjust them to personal preferences. When it comes to the Hypermotard's engine performance, make no mistake, it's race bred. Riding at anything less than 100% is akin to making a thoroughbred dance dressage. It'll do it but it's silly. Engine output can be dialed between low, medium, high. When riding aggressively, either high or medium is enjoyable because the snap out of corners is ferocious. Both provide progressive delivery of the engine's full power, with medium coming on in more mild fashion. Around town, or when lane splitting through heavy LA traffic, I found those two settings to be a little abrupt when smoothness is most warranted. The low setting dials back engine horsepower to a claimed 75 HP, and further smooths the delivery. I found myself switching to this mode in the two scenarios mentioned above, or when I was getting tired. If the Hypermotard 939 SP gets your heart pounding but the $16,000 price is hard to swallow, the standard model Hyper, at $12,695, will save you $3,300, and it's largely the same bike, only wheels and suspension components separating them. Or, for a more versatile Hyper that splits the difference, the Hyperstrat 939 at $14,295 might provide a more viable option. The Strata version of the Hypers comes outfitted with semi-rigid saddlebags, a touring windshield, touring seat, center stand, larger fenders, and a engine guard. Regardless which Hyper model you choose, good times are sure to result. There just aren't many other motorcycles like it, and the fun factor for any of the three is off the charts. And while we can't say the new 937 cubic centimeters engine is hugely beneficial over last year's 821, a few more ponies and foot-pounds never hurt. For more information check out Ducati.com.